Hello and welcome to Ponte City, an icon of Johannesburg skyline, right at the heart of the inner city. Now, Ponte City was built back in 1976. Now, this tower rises interestingly over an uneven rock surface, ostensibly to create dramatic effect, and it's got a hollow center, to give light or natural light to all the 480 apartments in this building. It was at the time Africa's tallest building for 48 years until it was overtaken by the DOI building in Egypt back in 2023. So when this place was built back in 1976, it became a desirable place to live because of its location, because of its centrality, and as well as the stunning views of Johannesburg. Today we'll be finding more about the history of this place, and we'll be in conversation with a tour guide. Now, someone who knows Ponte City more than I do is Zodwa Sabela. She is a tour guide under Dlala Nje, which is an NPO in Ponte City, co-founded by journalist Nicholas Bauer. Well, this is an organization that looks at the interest of the children of residents of Ponte City and gives them, an education, gives them, entertainment and everything that children need within the precinct of Ponte City. And she's here to talk to us about the history of this building and what really makes it such a marvel in Johannesburg skyline. Zodwa, very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Hi, Simpiwe. Thank you for having me also today.
Zodwa, I know I may not have done much justice in terms of articulating the history of Ponte City in my intro because, a history steeped in just under 50 years cannot be reduced to only 5 minutes. So just take us through the history of Ponte City and what is it about it that makes people just marvel at, the rich cultural, integrity of this place.
So actually, Ponte City is a building that everyone loves to be in, especially when the Kempstons took over the building. They managed to renovate the building, turn it into a building where you could have a community, you could have a family and call it your other home instead of where you come from. So Ponte City is regarded as a building that is an cosmopolitan building. So you have people from surrounding African countries all within the same building. So also that gives you a taste of different African countries inside one building. Also accommodating people, it's a luxurious building in a way that some people wouldn't say living here inside the building is the same as living in other buildings as well. You have everything inside the building. You have your shops inside the building. You have the management inside the building. In case of inquiries, in case of problems, they are always there to support you in the building. So I live here myself and I love it. I've been living here for 2 years now and it's the best experience. I've always told people that when it comes to maintenance of the building, they don't even take time. They make sure that everything is at its top level. There's 24/7 security in the building. There are cleaners within the building. What else do you want? The view is perfect. Yeah.
When you say it's the best building or the best place to live in, what are some of the amenities that makes it such?
So, like I said, the building is a city within a city. You have shops within the building. Sometimes I live here in the building, and for 2 weeks I don't have to leave the building. We used to have a pool in the building, but we don't have that anymore. But they still say they're going to re-renovate the pool. We have few more shops. What else do we have? We have a lot of things in the building. You don't have to leave the building. You are always in the building. That's what makes it special.
And then Dlala Nje, how does it come into the picture? What's Dlala Nje's role in Ponte City? Does it manage the building or is it just an NPO which is a tenant here in Ponte City?
So at Dlala Nje, we came into picture in 2012. Our co-founder's name is called Nicholas Bauer. He came here also in 2012 as a journalist hired by a company called Mail and Garden to come and write a story about what's happening at Ponte. So when he came here, he was expecting to find mafias and gangsters still living in the building. Only to his surprise, the building was fully renovated with no more people living in the building. And he left with a list. He had no story to write, but he had to leave with something. So where I took you at the top at 5101, that used to be his apartment. So as he was strolling around in the building, when he was already living in the building, he realized that kids here in the building, they don't have a place to spend their time and learn something from it. So he decided to put an arcade game center, which is this space that we're in here, an arcade game center where kids could just come here and play in the arcade game. But then kids started panel beating Zimbabwean coins and Malawian coins into the machine. At the end of the month, he realized that there's no money in the machine. But then also with time, as time went by, he realized that it's not only about kids spending their time here, it's also about kids learning something. If you also check the neighborhood we're in, kids get exposed into a lot of things. Crime, drugs, kids are not going to school. So for them being here in this community center, it brings hope. It's an open-minded community center. I mean, kids here are not exposed to a lot of things. But as soon as you get here at Dlala Nje, you realize that the world has a lot to offer you.
And I see there's also an entertainment area that you open up to the residents to just, mingle and have parties there as well.
Yes. So 5101 is our event space, which is under Dlala Nje as well, to fundraise the space here. So all our funds that are made from the event space, they all come back to cater for this space. Because as Dlala Nje, we're an NPO. We only make our funds from the tours that we do in the building, in the city as well, and from donations. So our space at the top, as soon as you're done with the tour, you get to the top, have a drink, have a nice view, chat with other people that would have come on a tour. And not only that, we actually open Sunday to Sunday. Not only for the tours, you can come for a sunset. You can come, you can bring your partner, you can bring your friends for a birthday party or things like that. Come have a good time, watch the sunset, and have a Zamalek with you.
And so popular is Ponte that it attracted the attention of filmmakers and photographers, as I mentioned in the intro. And, even I understand that Drake's video was shot here, and Black is King by Beyonce's music video was also shot here as well. What is it about this place, and what are some of the elements of Ponte City that make it so attractive to filmmakers?
I mean, also the brutalism of the building. It's one of the buildings that hasn't changed from apartheid times. So, I mean, that's very iconic. That's very iconic. We also have the halo in the middle. The halo, it's 1 in a million that you find a building with the halo in the middle. And people love that. People love having that space opening up to the top. And, I mean, it attracted a lot of people. If you check most of the music videos or the films that were shot here, it's mostly down there by the core of the building. They enjoy that. I mean, also the views, guys. The views amazing. I love the view. I remember there was this one time I woke up on a good day. I could see the clouds below me, but I could still see the rest of the city. I mean, how beautiful is that? It's amazing. The sunset.
Now, we're getting reports that this place is going for sale. Like, has it been sold already? Tell me not.
No. No, it hasn't been sold yet.
So what are the reports about? We're hearing that it's going for auction or it's going for sale.
So it was on auction on Friday, the 20th, last week, but we haven't received any feedback from the company if it's been taken over by someone else or it's been sold or things like that. So for now, we're still waiting for feedback.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Zoda, great chatting to you, man. You're doing a great job. Thank you so much for joining us. From a luxury address in the 1980s to a symbol of urban decay in the early 2000s, and then after being fully renovated in 2012, became a residential address that is enviable for all residents of Johannesburg. Well, it's since been auctioned on the 20th of February, and we still await to hear from the new owners whether they will maintain the architectural beauty of Ponte City. But what we know so far is that this architectural beauty is now gone. I'm Simpiwe Ngwana for Morning Live, SABC, Johannesburg.